Okay, so find my thing right quick. Okay, don't mind that. So I was gonna talk more about when I was younger. Like, I know I'm not looking at the camera, I'm playing a game. But my goodness. So leaving off about how much I hated middle school. All of that started when I was 10, 11, somewhere around there. I think I just turned 10. So, of course, my parents split up, and first half of it, dear God, it was so messy. I don't even remember most of it. Like, my mind has blocked it completely out. Like, I don't remember most of what happened. Um, so I can't really tell you much there, because like I said, my brain blocked it out for some reason. So, for a while, it was my mom, my brother, and I. We lived together, and then I guess, like, I don't even remember most of the fight that happened, but anyways, my mom took my brother back to my dad, and just me, her, and her new partner. I didn't like him very much. I didn't like him from the beginning. But of course, me being 10, my opinion wasn't gonna fucking matter. Because for the longest time, while she was with him, I was told to stay in child's place, so, whatever. My opinions weren't really valued. Now this is gonna be from my perspective and my opinion. To me, I kind of felt like a bragging thing. Like, oh, look at her, she's like so smart and everything else. Or, oh my goodness, she's so cool, she can like speak in church and stuff. Like, kind of how I felt for a while. I was like, oh, I'm just something everybody can like brag about. Or like, like I was just kind of there. I wasn't really a person. That's just me. So, right around when I was 12, when all the bullying started, because fucking hated middle school. Stupid as hell. Anyways, basically my mental health went like it completely fucking tanked. Like, it was just like, okay, fuck it. So, I knew then there was something wrong because I was just like sad every fucking day. Like, I couldn't do anything. I didn't know I had ADHD back then. Nobody did. We didn't find out till like this year. So, everyone thought I was just acting out, which I really wasn't. Anyways, so for the longest time, you know, the rules and everything were harsher on me, and I was just like, great. So not only do I feel like absolute ass, I still have to continue to live to everybody's expectations. Great, fucking awesome. So I'm sitting there doing everything I'm supposed to, and like, to my mom's, I guess, boyfriend at the time, it was never good enough, okay? Just leave it at that. It was never good enough. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what can I do to please people? It's like, if this isn't good enough, what is, And then, of course, people started commenting on my weight. Now, mind you, by this time, I'm like 13. So, I'm already growing in full swing. Everything's just, woo! So, of course, I laid off the food. I stopped eating as much, and then it became a problem because everyone's like, you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough. Make up your fucking mind, people. Y'all went from, oh, you're eating too much to now, oh, you're not eating enough. Make up your fucking mind. I mean, what do you want? Y'all don't want me to eat too much, but now you want me to eat it. I was confused back then. I was like, this makes no sense. So, I also didn't dress how I wanted for the longest time. Like I talked about that earlier. Oh, I first came out of the closet when I was 11. Okay? And it wasn't really I came out. It was more so, if I remember correctly, I was kind of like forced out of the closet. Anyways, I was told, oh, you're not old enough to make that decision. And I'm sitting there going, you're telling me I'm not old enough, but I know I like women. I've liked women for a while. At the time I had a girlfriend, like, I don't know, she didn't take anything seriously. But anyways, so I came out again 2 years later. So I was like 13, 14 maybe. So I came out again. I was told I was still too young. Which at that point I was getting fucking annoyed. So I finally came back out at 15. And it was finally accepted. And I'm sitting here going, we've been through this 3 goddamn times and you finally choose a third time to accept it. I don't, after the second time I would have accepted it, But hey, I guess third time's a charm. So there was that. Then I moved in with my dad. Things were fine for a bit. Like, it was alright. Of course, nothing good lasts long. So after a while, I moved back in with my mom. Things were fine. Everything was fine. Except her. So by that point, she had broken up with the dude. She had, moved out and everything. And she was still friends with him. And I'm sitting there. By this time, I'm 15, 16. So I'm sitting here going, Ma, he don't like you. He just using you, Stop being silly and just dump his ass, block his number, everything. And she wouldn't listen to me. And I'm sitting here going, I can see this coming from a mile away, and at this point you're ignoring every goddamn red flag there fucking is. At this point, you would have thought it was a Mexican rodeo with a bunch of bulls. And I'm sorry if that sounded racist. It wasn't meant to sound racist. I'm just saying. You would have thought it was a fucking bull chasing rodeo. She's got the dude's got the red flag. She's the bull and she's chasing after, And I'm sitting there going, Jesus Christ, this is not going to end well for anybody. I'm sitting here going, this is going to bite you in the ass. It's going to bite you real hard. And it did. It bit her in the ass. It bit her real hard. And I'm sitting there going, I fucking told you so. So, anyways, backtrack and go back a couple of years. So, for the longest time, I was depressed and anxious off my fucking ass. And of course, I went to therapy and I told the therapist told my mom everything, and then that ended in an argument. And then when I did talk to other people, they twisted my words, used it against me, told my mom, and it ended in another argument. And I did get in trouble for a lot of things I didn't do. So I'm just sitting here going, oh my God. So by that point, I was like, oh my God, you've either got to kill me or somebody take me out, something. I don't care what. By that point, I just did not give a damn. I wanted to just be like I did not care. And nobody knew because I was so good at hiding it. I was so good at hiding it. I fooled myself for the longest time, between the, coming out of the closet and being rejected repeatedly, the bullying, the fact that I wasn't allowed to really do self-expression, and everything else was just really monitored. Like, even my screen time. Like, I was like, I didn't get a phone. I didn't get my first phone until I was like 15. So, like, honestly, I was basically a sheltered little fucking rabbit that didn't understand the world. So when I did get on social media, and I had a bunch of creeps and everything following me, I didn't know what to do because guess what? I was fucking sheltered. I didn't understand any fucking thing because nobody would let me do anything, you know? And I'm just like, it makes no sense because looking back, it's like, y'all treated me harshly, and then it comes out, years later, oh, well, she has ADHD, she has two anxiety disorders, depression, migraines. I have an iron deficiency, but I take iron supplements for it. Migraines and hypermobility. So, like, it came out that I had all these fucking problems, not to mention my anger issues that I have beyond a goddamn belief. Like, so I stay away from people on top of my anxiety. Um, Not to mention, going to therapy and reopening, old things that I thought I was over but wasn't over. Um, and the fact that, I do have trust issues and everything else. So, that finally came out when I was like 16, and then at the beginning of this year, February, March, April-ish of this year, after I turned 17. So, everything's coming out of the closet now, like, and it's just like, well, now that way, looking back, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. This, your behavior back then makes sense. And I'm sitting here going, and no offense, but you guys didn't think to, take me to a doctor. But then again, when you live with somebody who doesn't believe in anything like that because they're Christian and they think, oh, anxiety is of the devil, everything like that is of the devil, just, depression's of the devil, get over it, When you live with somebody like that, you can't really go to the doctor because they're like, oh, we're just going to pray about it. And I'm sitting here going, oh my God. So for the longest time, I just wanted to, because like, it's like, oh, maybe things will get better if I just, you know. So so fast forward back to 16, the night of my birthday, I had a huge fucking breakdown. Like, that party it wasn't even really a party, but anyways, just gonna leave it at, it was bad. My best friend was there. So after we got back in the car, she played music for me to keep me from crying, but as soon as we dropped her back off, like, I completely busted out in tears. I was like, I don't want to live anymore, I was like, I can't do this. Everything fucking sucks. I don't want to be alive. I'm done with this. So, then we go, and I go to the doctor, everything. Take the silly little test, and they're like, yep, she has mild depression, generalized anxiety disorder, and socialized anxiety disorder. So, they gave me antidepressants, my little pills that everybody's seen me fill my box with. Anyway, so, that made sense. And then I went back the next year. Okay, so, my bad, I'm fast forwarding too much. So, we go to June of 23. So, for months, I was like, Mom, my hands hurt. My joints are killing me. Like, I couldn't get out of bed because they would hurt so bad. So, I go to the doctor in June. They said, okay, there's hypermobility. So, I did therapy for a couple months, physical therapy. I go back in December. And so, I was like, oh my God, it's not helping. It's making it worse. And then I had a really bad flare up in December. Like, everything was killing me. Like, it was like, I felt like I was gonna just, it's like a snake, just, crushing my bones. Okay, so now we fast forward to, I'd like to say, March I think it was March of this year. I go back to the doctor, and, I get tested for ADHD because I'm like, something else ain't right here. I still can't focus. I can't, like, I literally could not focus. I was pretty much about to basically fail and not graduate because I had worked hard to be able to graduate early. So I was like, really close to failing because I couldn't focus or anything. Go back to the doctor. I have ADHD. So after we get past the ADHD, here we are to now. I'm currently fine now. Everything's a hot mess, but hey, when is life not a hot mess? So now we're gonna go and backtrack again. Because I apparently like backtracking. So, between middle school being a nightmare and me not being popular, me having undiagnosed issues, then with, going to therapy or talking to people, and my words being twisted and used against me, and me constantly getting in trouble for things I didn't do when I tried to tell people I didn't do something, I eventually just quit talking because I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. All I'm getting is in more fucking trouble for no fucking reason because nobody wants to listen to me. And everyone was like, well, it's one against, 6 people. So I was just like, fine, I won't say anything. I'm just gonna sit here and shut up. Um, and of course, like I said, my screen time and everything was monitored, so like I couldn't go over it, and I would get in trouble for a lot of things. Like, now mind you this, I was 13 at the time. I just wanted to be able to fit in. I never fit in because I didn't have a phone. I didn't have Jordans. I didn't have any of that. And a lot of people are going to say, well, you had a house and everything. You should be grateful for that. Never said I'm not grateful for it. What I'm saying is, why did you guys shelter me so much? Why was I so sheltered? I mean, for fuck's sake, and this is going to sound really goddamn stupid, and really, like, I don't care if you fucking laugh, because looking back, I'm fucking laughing about it. By the time I was in ninth grade, or skipping to when I was like 14, I still didn't know what sex was. I still didn't know. Like, I didn't know because nobody fucking told me. What's even worse, and this is gonna sound horrible, when I was about, I wouldn't say 11 and a half, but like 4 months after my 11th birthday, so like June, I got my first period, and like I didn't know what it was. Like, nobody had told me any fucking thing. I didn't know what it was. I was just going about my business. Like, I didn't know. So I not only did I not know that, like I said, I was kind of sheltered. I was sheltered, anxious, hyperactive, depressed, with migraines, and wanting to punch the fuck out of the next thing that pissed me off. Totally not a red flag in a child that should probably be fucking looked at. Totally nothing that's concerning. And looking back, I'm just sitting here going, what the hell? You had brain cells and you didn't fucking use them. And but you can't really blame one person for everything. But, you know, like I said, I didn't like the guy my mom was with. I pretended to like him so she would be happy. Considering there was one time I had accidentally upset my mom and I hadn't meant to. I was just very blunt that day. At the time, I didn't know I was overwhelmed and overstimulated, so I just kind of blurted something out. And so her boyfriend comes into my bedroom and he looks at me and says, "You're the reason why your mother cries to me all the time." So yeah, that's that was a low blow. That actually made me feel like I was like the lowest thing on the fucking planet right then and there. Like, I felt like I didn't matter because that right there, I was like, I know I never really like talk much like that, but like to me, it felt like I didn't matter because I was like, I didn't mean to make her cry, but yeah, he was like, yeah, you make your mom cry all the time with everything that you do. Once again, how are you people missing the cries for help? How the fuck are you missing all the signs? You know, at my lowest, I was just like, I'm done with this. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I don't want to exist, you know? And, like, once again, nobody, like, everybody's missing flags. Like, everybody's missing, hey, I need help. So I start getting, we're skipping back to when I was like 13, 14, or 14, 15. So I'm throwing out red flags left and right, like, help, 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 SOS, SOS. And nobody's catching on to it. So I'm sitting there, like, at my wits fucking end, throwing out these red flags. Like, before I got help, I was extremely fucking violent. Like, I would pick fights with everybody. I would fist fight. I would throw things. I would cuss, punch, anything that would give me attention. And everybody just kept missing it. Nobody knew how to help, I guess. So, eventually, it got to the point where I broke down and I said, somebody don't get me some help. I ain't gonna live to see next year. You know? So eventually I did get help. But, like, the divorce was messy. Being separated from my sibling was messy. Not being able to see them until, like, 2020. Like, I didn't see them again until July of, like, 2020. And all this went down in, like, 2017. So this all went down in 2017. So I didn't see them again until 2020. July of 2020. So by then, I was, of course, in full swing as a teenager. I was like friggin' 13, 14 at the time. So by that point, I was a full teenager. I was like, yay. Anyways, so yeah, between the messy divorce, the split, being, not being able to see my sibling for a while, or my dad, and then of course, my mom's boyfriend being a jackass, big fucking jackass. I didn't really do much as a teenager either. Like, as an early teen, I never went to parties. I never got to have sleepovers. Like, parties aren't a big deal. Like, I don't mean like full on fucking rage parties, but like friends' birthday parties. I never really got to do any of that. So, I also didn't have very many friends. Like I said, I didn't have a phone. I wasn't allowed on social media either. Um, but in my opinion, I guess part of that was so I guess my dad couldn't find me. I don't know. Uh, but then I've heard my dad's side of everything, and they just kind of assumed I was either dead or fell off the face of the fucking earth. Then again, when you can't find your own child, that's a little concerning. But hey, you know. So basically, my childhood was never normal because even before the divorce, when I was little, my parents would fight all the fucking time. Screaming, throwing things, cussing, you know. Like, the relationship was never good to begin with, but, hey, is what it is. Shit happens. So, yeah. That's why I am the way I am. Because, yeah. So, I also don't like loud noises, because it reminds me of arguing and everything. I also really, really hate screaming. I hate arguments. I will fucking run away from an argument. Not because I know I'm going to lose, but because I don't like to argue with people. So, yeah. Didn't really have a normal childhood. So, yeah. I am the way I am because of my parents' actions. Can't really undo it, but I can move forward. That's why I like talking about it. Because now I can move forward and tell people about my story. Because, someone somewhere probably is going through something similar or the exact same thing and could probably use a hand. Well, I'm the hand. I'm not much, but I'm the hand. I'm willing to help. Not everybody's very fortunate to have that, and I wasn't. Because back then I felt like I couldn't trust anybody because every time I tried, my words were just used against me. So, kind of hard to talk to somebody when you can't trust anybody because they use your words against you. Like, I was just like, I give up. And then, of course, basically, the step family, several people teased me a lot. I didn't like that either. So, yeah, my life's up to this point has basically been a shit show. And I'm just the supervisor. At this point, I'm sitting back with my popcorn just going, oh, this is fucking nice. And I feel like that episode of SpongeBob, Sailor Mouth. SpongeBob walks up to Patrick and goes, nice day we're having. Exactly. Yep, nice day we're having. It's great. So, yeah. It was just, I didn't like not having freedom of expression. But then again, when you're around somebody who's religious to the point of, you know, everything about that deity or whatever comes first, fine. I respect religion. Ain't my place to judge. Ain't my place to tell people what they can and can't do. And, unless they're a child that's about to get themselves hurt. Or I'm raising or babysitting somebody's kid. It's the only time, I should tell somebody what to do. But when you're literally limiting someone's expression because of your religion or your beliefs, that's a fucking problem. And then one memory that really sticks out to me. I was failing a class because I couldn't understand what was going on. So instead of trying to help me, I get lectured for about an hour and a half. And then they say, no more tablet until you can pass your class. You're not even going to ask if I need help because I had like a 50 something. I'm sitting here going, you're not even going to, like, in my head, I'm at the time between the screaming because I'm upset and crying. They're taking away the one thing that made me fucking happy at that time. Like, the one thing, And in my head, I'm sitting here going, you're not going to ask why I'm failing. You're not going to ask if I need help, if I need a tutor or anything. You're just going to jump to conclusions that I'm slacking off or playing on my tablet too much instead of actually trying to fucking help me. Yeah, way to fucking go. That is how you definitely parent a child. You don't help them. You just take away their one thing that brings them fucking joy. It's their fucking lifeline. So yeah. To sum everything up, my parents' relationship sucked. It was a horrible divorce. It was a horrible split. My mom's first, my mom's boyfriend after the divorce basically was a dick. Then again, that's what you get for dating somebody that's a fucking minister at a church. That's what you get. Oh, you're like, oh, he's a minister at a church. Oh, he's so cute. Yeah, behind closed doors, they're not fucking cute. Everything's fucking messy. That's actually why I fucking hate church, besides the homophobic people. So yeah, fucking hate church and I don't ever want to go back. I never will go back. And nobody can make me. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, that's my life up to this point. A fucking shit show. Don't even get me started on my partners, because Jesus. I'll tell you about the one that I had in like 2022, early 23. So, my best friend and I had gotten really close. We confessed feelings because we had feelings for each other. Her parents turned out to be homophobic and everything like that. She wasn't allowed to talk to me, and then it went downhill from there, and I haven't spoken to her since. So, you know, don't even know if she's alive or anything. But hey. Yeah. Then I recently got out of a relationship. That one was my fucking fault that it ended, but hey, I mean, I'm going through like absolute dog ass right now, and I couldn't give my partner what they needed. On top of the fact I'm demisexual, so I basically don't want sex unless I have an emotional bond, which I'm not saying I didn't have that, but then antidepressants, everybody knows it's a common fact. They just, no. It's like that dog that says go to horny jail. Yeah, I don't have that. Like, I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. The dog that gets bonked and go to horny jail. Yeah, for me, none of that ever. Like, antidepressants, am I right? Anyway, so I couldn't give the partner what they wanted, so I just said, you know, I can't give you what you want. If you leave, that's fine. And then they were like, you know, you're not giving me any other choice but to leave. And I'm sitting here going, well, no, duh, I'm not giving you any other choice but to fucking leave. I can't give you what you want and what you need. So if you need to leave, fucking leave, you know. Nobody's stopping you. And I understand, you know. It probably hurt them a lot. But for me, I was just like, right now, everything is just too much and it's hurting me, so. If you gotta let go, man. You know? So, of course, since then, I've just been doing my own thing and just lollygagging around, playing games and everything else. And, of course, I've been doing my newspaper and everything like that, so. I will tell you this, though. So, we're gonna hop back to when I was about 13. I had everybody knows composition notebooks. I had one of those. So, you know, I wrote everything in pencil, or pen, because at the time I hated pencils. I couldn't fucking stand them. So I take it into my therapist, and she sits there and she tells me, like, looks me dead in the face, because my handwriting stays the same. You know, it doesn't really change depending on the day, because I'm one of those people, try to keep it consistent. Anyways, she dead ass looks at me and says, this looks like it was written all in one night. And I'm sitting there going, I wrote this over the course of 6 months. And she once again tells me it was written in one night. Motherfucker, how the fuck am I supposed to write 56 pages in one goddamn night? I may be smart, I may have fast hands, but I ain't no goddamn Barry Allen the Flash. Okay? So, that didn't go over well. I was pissed that she didn't believe me. And then the fact that she basically told my mother everything I said after every session. I don't even know if that's fucking ethical or legal, honestly. Because last I checked, everything between therapist and client is supposed to be confidential. So I think she broke the confidentiality thing there. I guess good for her. I bet she probably lost her job, or if not, after this video, I'm sure somebody will find her and she'll probably lose her job that way. Who knows? I don't even care. I don't even want vengeance. I'm just pissed that it happened. Anyways, so one time, we're gonna fast forward. I went to church. I brought my notebook because I like to doodle. I have ADHD. Time. Didn't know that. So anyways, I like to doodle. Um, Brought my notebook, and so I guess when I went to the bathroom after church, I guess my mom opened it and was like reading it, and then her and her boyfriend were like, had somebody open this and read this, we all could have gotten in trouble, and you know, then you would be taken away and yada yada yada. And I'm like, so of course I got mad and I was like, fine, I won't take anything anywhere ever again. And they were like, stop with the attitude. And I'm like for my mom's boyfriend at the time, everything I did was a goddamn problem to him. Like every fucking thing. At that point, I was like, my existence is a fucking problem for you, sir. And of course, my mom didn't make enough money at the time, so she couldn't fucking leave him. And looking back, I'm sitting here going, and you didn't think about a woman's shelter? You know, that's just me though. I'm sitting here going, and it never crossed your mind, women's shelter? Talk to a friend, get some help, Anyways, so yeah, it was just between my biological parents and their arguments, and then my biological parents and their new partners. Honestly, everything's fucking sucked. Like, my mom and her boyfriend, right after my parents split, like, because he was a minister at a church, like I said, he was a fucking dickbag. Like, huge goddamn dickbag. I didn't like him. And then my dad's current partner, or ex-partner, I don't know anymore. At this point, it's back and forth between get-togethers, break up, get together, break up. Anyways, her and I got along just fine. We were fine for a bit, and then everything started happening, and then I stopped talking to her and everything else. So between my parents and their partners, that was a hot mess. I was just kind of like, I wish I confessed this to one of my therapists in high school, my freshman year. I said, I look at these kids with both parents and I sit there and go, I'm fucking jealous. I fucking hate them with a burning passion. They have both their parents, and look at me. My house and my family is a goddamn fucking hellhole, and they have both parents. And I'm sitting here over here with divorced parents that fucking hate each other's souls, and could care less if Satan killed one of them. You know, like, honestly, I was so jealous, and to this day, I still am, because it's like, oh, look at you, you got both parents. And then, a lot of people are like, so, I know a lot of people are like, so you're against divorce. No, I'm not against divorce. What I'm against is basically, first off, don't keep your kid from the other parent. Second of all, if your kid's saying, hey, I don't like your partner, I'm not saying let your kid dictate your fucking life and run it for you, but I'm saying maybe take their opinion into consideration, because kids can pick up on bad vibes from a mile away. It's proven, you know. I'm not saying let your kid dictate your fucking life, but I'm saying, hey, if your kid's saying, Ma, I don't like this guy, or Dad, I don't like this woman, or Dad, I don't like this guy, Ma, I don't like this woman, maybe you should look into it instead of just, telling them to be quiet and everything else. Like, if they say, I don't like this person, they probably have a reason why. They're not doing it out of jealousy, they're not doing it out of hate. Sometimes they are. There are some kids that will do that. But if your kid is expressing serious concerns, they should be looked into. But yeah. So that's pretty much my entire teenagehood in a nutshell. Because it was disastrous. Reminds me of the disastrous life of Psyche K. It's an anime. Anyways, So we're gonna hop back. We're gonna backtrack to my childhood. We're gonna hop back to when I was about. So as far back as I remember is about maybe 6. I don't remember anything before 6. So we're gonna hop back to when I was about 6. So by that point, my brother had been born. He was about 3. Yeah, 3. So my parents were always arguing, and it was just a hellhole. My mom was always working. So between her working and the arguing and the fighting, and oh yeah, don't forget the holes on the wall. There were lots of holes punched. Yeah. Trying to keep my brother away from the noise, so like I would take him upstairs and tell him, hey, don't leave the closet till I say you can come out. I would play with him, everything to make sure he didn't, hear what was going on. Of course, older sibling stuff, because it's like, they're little. They don't need to be, exposed to that. The older sibling themselves doesn't need to be exposed to that, but our older sibling instinct kicks in and goes, you know what, how about we go upstairs and how about we play and everything else, trying to keep them, from hearing everything, because that's the older sibling instinct that kicks in. So, between that and, of course, divorce and everything, it was just, I think you could basically say I never really had a normal childhood. Not throwing my story out here for pity or anything. I'm just saying somebody somewhere probably needs a helping hand. So, talking about how fucked up mine was will probably help somebody. Now, of course, there are people that have it worse than me, people that have it better than me, That's just life. Everybody gets dealt a different hand. Although there are days I wish I got dealt a better hand, But as I like to say, depression, as that meme on Insta says, depression I ain't struggling with depression. Depression's struggling with me. I'm still here. Exactly. I'm still here. That bitch is struggling with me. I ain't going nowhere no time soon, so it can continue to struggle, but it ain't getting me. I'm still here and I'm still standing, so I ain't going nowhere. But, not everybody's very lucky to have a story like mine. Some people's, end too soon. Some people, make it through and they're like the best fucking warrior you could ever see, But some people's stories like mine end way too soon, And that's sad that it ends way, way too soon, Nobody's, life should be like that where it ends too soon because their parents were a bunch of goobers. So, nobody's life should end like that because their parents couldn't get it together. Like, I remember one of my 3rd grade teachers telling us this when we'd mess up. She'd be like, if you don't get it, fix it before I fix it for you. You better get it together. That's pretty much how I feel, because it's like, if you don't fix it, I'll fix it, But like I said, some people's stories end too soon, especially, especially with bullying, because I had a lot of that, and a lot of kids' stories end too soon because of bullying, because other people can't, get a leash on their fucking kids and train them right. So, if there's somebody out there, in middle school or, getting made fun of because stupid shit they can't control. Like, I had people laugh at me because they're like, haha, you don't have your real dad. Haha, it's funny. You know. It's just, it's fucked up that some kids think that's okay to do. So, yeah. My life has been one hell of a ride for the first 17 years. And I will turn 18 in February, so hopefully 18 will be a lot better. I won't get my hopes up too much, but hopefully 18's a lot better. I'm finally moving on with my life. I'm finally getting there. I ain't throwing up my white flag yet. I'm throwing up my flag going, woo! I'm here. I'm like that one tardy kid that shows up to school one day. Or the one kid that never shows up. And then the day they show up, I'm here. You know, that's me right now. It's like, oh, I never show up for life. Oh, wait, I'm here. I'm here. It's fucking funny. Because, you know, not everybody shows up for life, but here I am. I'm still standing. Like that song. I'm still standing. Exactly, I'm still here. Doing my own little thing in my own little world, being a goober. Hey, not everybody gets the chance to do that. So, I'm taking my chance for everybody else who didn't get the chance to. Not everybody's lucky, because their story ends far too soon. Well, you know what? I'm living my life for the people whose story ended too soon. Because I'm going to stand here and I'm going to do what I need to do. So, yeah, that is my basically 17 years of living in a nutshell. A really, really horrible nutshell. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you guys have any more questions, you guys can comment. Oh my goodness, air bubble. You guys can comment and I'll respond to them and either make like a whole new video, like not new, but a whole other video, or I'll just respond in the comment section, you know, whatever's easier for you guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if not, then I don't know what to say.